We are back. We are black. Peace, peace, peace to the family. Welcome back to Rebels Roundtable. I'm your host, Rebel with a Cause.
And I'm Brother Kenwato Akil.
And this is Rebels Roundtable. Peace to the family. Peace to the God. What's going on, King?
What's going on, brother man? How you be, man? How you be?
I can't complain, but I will for those who can't.
For everybody in YouTube land, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to Rebel Vision Television, y'all. Come on, man, because we're trying to reach out to the people, so reach out to us, so they support. We love y'all.
Yeah, man, we love y'all. Thanks for the support already. We're getting a lot of feedback, good, bad. The algorithm touching us anyway.
Oh, yeah. They go do that.
So what's been going on, King?
Oh, man, still out here on the grind, man. Maintaining, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
I heard there's a new
guest
wave
tonight, man.
I heard there was a little wave of consciousness on the internet.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. I guess some people just don't like the truth, man. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is.
A lot more people waking up, and I'm talking about really waking up, because it's to the systematic thought you got to kill. Not really your position in life. You really have to get that first wave of lies out of your system.
Right. That's the truth, too. That's the truth, man.
So, man, it's going to be a good one, man. Oh, yeah, y'all last show, pardon me, family, I wasn't here. Y'all did y'all thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, man, it's good for us to build with the brothers, man, from time to time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, spirit, soul, and consciousness.
Oh, yeah, man. We got some good brothers, man. Got a good team, brother. That's the way I like it.
Yeah, I know. I got something for the team. My plans.
Word.
We out of here, man.
Word.
Yeah. Oh, salute to Ross Isis. I know he went to Addis Ababa, right? He in Ethiopia, so Addis Ababa. I know we went to see the Lord Your Majesty's home place and all the royal lands. So salute to my other partner from Think Champs, Ross Isis. He in land. He gonna bring me back some dirt.
Right. When the brother coming back, man?
He might not come back. It's over.
Yeah, for real?
Somewhere near October.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. Last time I talked, he said he was going to be gone for 30 days.
I said, you might not want to come back.
Hey, man, it'll have you that way, brother.
It might
I don't blame him. Can't blame him.
Might be. I love it. I just want some dirt. And I told him when he see the real tribes, because he going in deep.
Right.
He ain't going to be able to tell us the real temperature of Africa.
Right.
It's one of us going, so.
Right.
We going to know. But now, Bossy put it down last show. D, you. That was a good bill.
Oh, yeah, man. Like I say, man, sometimes we got to build within ourselves, man. And that's good, man. And that's good, man.
But who we got on the show tonight?
Oh, man, we got my sister, man. I'll go back my 6.5 years, man. We got Dr. Nicole Benton, man. Good sister, man. When I tell you good sister that care about her people, she really care, man.
She deal with the mental illness of our people.
Yeah, holistic healing. She do counseling. She just launched off a whole recovery program, man. She deal with the youth. She go inside the county jails in the Atlanta metro area and talk with the brothers and everything, man. So yeah.
Now, see, it say addiction, substance abuse, use disorder. All right, trauma.
Yeah.
Because we got so much trauma I want to ask her after she break it down. Maybe this should be offline, but I want to ask her. I want to know if she really understands today's trauma, which I know she do. But today's trauma isn't like our trauma.
Right.
Like we have real trauma.
Right.
They trauma is almost because I can't do it. It's almost like a fit. It's almost like a tantrum.
Right.
Nah, there's a disease called FOMO.
FOMO.
It's called fear of missing out.
Oh, okay. I never heard of that.
Let me ask you a question, brother. When you was young coming up, did kids ever go anywhere and you figured out and found out you couldn't go with them?
Say that again.
Did you ever miss a trip when you was young? Like if we your cousins and we going to Disney World, did you ever miss out on it because you was bad or something?
Nah.
And somebody told you you couldn't go?
Nah.
Well, other people have. Now, they want you to think like today. If you had missed Disney World, right, and we went
Right.
and you ain't go, you would form a phobia, fear of missing out. So we go to Disney World every weekend.
Yeah.
And you can't ever go. So now you just all depressed, want to kill yourself.
Yeah.
All this other shit,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
because you can't fucking go.
Right. Right. Yeah.
I don't know if y'all deserve trauma. I don't know, because they linking it to Instagram.
Oh yeah, man. Really.
Instagram is linked to being the worst mental for your mental state. Instagram is the worst website in the world to go to.
You know, because man, we be using it the wrong way, man. For garbage, man.
Nah, remember coming up, there's rules to the game we have to learn.
Right, yeah.
Some
Right.
people get lost in the white rules that dominates most people, but there's still rules from the hood all the way to the white world.
Right.
So our kids is learning the rules to the white world, in wrong fashion.
Right.
So
Yep.
what is pretty now to your mother and your daughter, to them, they automatically see the girl with the filter, the real pretty girl, the girl with the filter fronting, the girl with the painting picture fronting. So they're facing a more direct version of the poison. And a lot of them can't handle that.
Right. Yeah, you right. You exactly right.
They can't handle the poison. So we talking about mental health, my nigga. We ain't even died during slavery.
Right.
How you dying in the mall? So nah, I'm just saying. The way I look at the mental health link, only a few 20 to 40% really got trauma and abuse. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about everybody with trauma and abuse that got enough sense to put on the damn camera though and fucking cry into it. All of them is just passing on they garbage, they negative vibe, their mental trash. No one's fixing them. They're just expressing it.
Right.
So that's poison, my nigga.
Right. Yeah, you're on point with that one. Yeah.
We from the earth where you can't poison the air, my nigga. If you off, somebody ill, gotta see that and kind of help guide you. We ain't even let people express this much. Some people might say that today's expression level is a good thing. I don't know about that. If you thought homosexual thoughts, should you tell us?
I mean, growing up, hell nah. People used to hide that shit, man.
Thank you.
People used to hide that shit.
The closet is still right there, my people. Who told y'all to spread this? We don't spread heterosexual perversions, right? So
Right.
I don't get it, man. We letting the poison people just take over, man. And I'm telling y'all, this it's not only Instagram. It's the whole world of the internet, the value system of the internet. Girls think they have to be a certain way. I keep reading 14 to 24 is the ones killing themselves.
Oh yeah.
So that be the girls really in the mix. Not that you're 14, but you paying attention to the game and what you got to do to play with it, good or bad.
Right. Yeah, you right.
I don't know. Black mental health, to me, y'all fuck with too much cracker shit. It's not even black power talk. Y'all fuck with European ideas. European, you trust European thought. And they find themselves going crazy, just like some Europeans. So, because everybody ain't get raped.
Right.
Everybody ain't get it. I think that's the queen right now.
That's cool.
She in before everybody else. Woo! We got royalty in the building.
Oh yeah.
We got Dr. Nicole and Benton. Family friend, I heard.
Oh yeah. Sister. Real sister, man.
Mental wellness.
Hey, Dr. Nicole Benton.
Hi, how are you guys doing?
Peace to
Good, we good.
Queen, how you doing?
I'm well.
I'm glad you was able to join the show, join us, you know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, let me say, well, before we get into it, telling us what you're doing now, I want to introduce you first. You my sister, you know what I mean? You already know how man you are, you know what I mean? And acting like you are an advocate. You the CEO of the Reconciliation Movement. You know, you're a life coach, counselor, and a chaplain as well, and you many more things, you know what I mean?
Salute.
Artist,
I appreciate that.
artist, well-rounded.
Thank you for, I guess, like bringing me on and being able to talk about my passion, really, which is all about us,
Right.
Healing from our past and being able to move forward, out of mental slavery.
Right.
Because, freedom is a mindset, and understanding those types of things. But yes, I wear a lot of hats and I do a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I tell people we're doing a campaign next year called Hood Recovery,
Right.
fighting the hit to end the hood mentality. I tell people all the time, despite all these letters by my name, I'm a recovering hood girl. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's so much that I experienced growing up, being from Gary, Indiana, growing up in Inglewood, California. Was always the neighborhood counselor, because everybody used to talk to me. I talked to every dope boy, drug dealer, trick on the street, whoever.
Right.
I talked to them, and they used to tell me their problems. And even I'm 16 with parents talking to me about, their issues and didn't even understand it then. And, I was built for this. This is who I am, so. But I do appreciate you, brother. You've always been a supporter. You've always, done the right thing. And, that's the type of people I like to be around.
Yeah, you remember I used to say, Nicole, if you leave me, I'm one phone call away.
Yeah.
About 6 years now, time go by now, yeah. But 2016, because I met you over here on 14th Industrial over there.
When we were doing the outreach at the hotels.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So yeah. Cause you know, from beginning, I just felt your spirit. You know what I mean? You know how you feel people's energy. It's like just by talking to you and stuff, you know, I just felt your energy. You know what I mean? And I was sure about it.
I appreciate it, brother. I really do.
Yeah. So before we like get off into like the hood recovery program, could you tell us like, you know, what brought you to do what you do? What was the reason? Like how was your childhood like growing up as a child, Gary?
Confusing. That may be the word for it. You know, I think growing up, don't get me wrong, like my mom, best mom ever. You know, she did the best she could, and my grandparents had a lot to do with raising me. But here's the thing, I talk about this. You know, I wrote a book, 7, A Pathway to Purpose, and it's where I studied the 7 deadly sins and created kind of, well, let me say this. It's about spiritual warfare and how it causes mental illness. That's basically what it's about. Okay. So I went through a lot studying that, and I did a lot of work trying to come up with the theory while working in prisons and things. And but anyway, long story short, what I said in the book, coming up, there was a lot of confusion. When I was born in Gary. My mom and them, they moved to California. I go out there very young. I'm 4 years old, 4 years old. Being dark skinned, I was teased a lot.
Right.
So, you know, coming up, being called all kind of darkies and porch monkeys. I mean, you name it. I was called that. Right. Until I moved back to Gary as a teenager, I didn't really hear that as much, and I got more attention. And I used to think, oh, well, it must be okay to be dark skinned here, but that wasn't the case. I was just feeling out, right? And so you don't have my granddaddy was around, but he wasn't real talkative. He was more of a provider. Therefore, I didn't have a male to really teach me about boys and things like that. I didn't realize what was happening. However, as time went on, I understood it. And again, listening to so many people, their stories, you know, a lot of people will look at you because of the things that you do and automatically judge you, but don't understand what got you there. And I think that growing up, again, all the dope boys, the gangbangers, you know, I had a girlfriend who lived down the street from me who had 2 kids by her mother's boyfriend. And she had a 3rd child by one of the guys we went to school with. However, her mama caught her all kind of bees and hoes and all this stuff. And she used to come to my house. My house was always like the refuge. I used to bring home people all the time that were abused and neglected. I didn't understand it then. So really, how I got to this point was my life. It was always trying to help people, always trying to be there and be a listening ear. And I really went through a lot growing up and seen a lot. And it wasn't because now don't get me wrong, I did a little dirt here and there.
Yeah.
But it was because I was, you know, when you in certain environments, you really just trying to survive.
Yeah.
And people will judge you based off the things you do, not realizing it's survival. It's not, you know, you may look at it as a crime.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to figure out how to eat, right? You know, and so I teach a lot of my interns, you know, because I do a lot of stuff with the prisons and jails, and I teach my interns, like, we have to be able to discern whether somebody's doing something for survival or whether they're doing it for entitlement. 2 different things. And even with entitlement, that comes from abandonment most of the time. So there's so many different things and that I learned along the way. I didn't have no choice but to be who I am today. I had to surrender to God and say, okay, I'm just gonna do what you want me to do. And at the end of the day, I don't like people, but I love them. And so I do what I know I'm supposed to be doing. And in that, you know, reconciliation movement was birthed. My
Right.
practice really just helps me with my nonprofit, because at the end of the day, don't nobody want to help us. And
Right.
I believe in reconciling with faith, hope, knowledge, and unity so that we can learn how to help ourselves. We have to be more self-sufficient. We have everything we need to succeed in life if we can get rid of the things that we were either born in and conditioned to believe that's not true, you know, and let go of them chains of mental slavery. Like, so much to where culturally we're lost.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't really know who we are because we've been plagued with so much stuff to turn us away, not only from God, but even ourselves.
Yeah,
And
that's
so,
true.
you know, I just strive to help us be accountable for ourselves and stop blaming what happened to us in the past. Stop looking at the fact that, yes, there is oppression. Yes, there is, you know, all these things, but I promise you, we have the power to do what we need to do. Now, I've been threatened by the powers that be several times. Last time, you know, and at the end of the day, I'm still standing, I'm still here, and I'm gonna keep fighting. That's just what it is.
Like when you say threat, like the people, what people?
I call them the powers that be.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all
Yeah.
good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
anytime you try to really, really do something in the community, they do come after you. Believe me when I tell you this. So it's just a part of life. It just is what it is.
Do you ever get frustrated?
Yeah, I was just frustrated Monday. I think I even posted about it because you know we started out in one of the jails. I ain't gonna name it, but went out to one of the jails, started working with the 17-year-olds. I started looking at some of their charges, and I'm like, if these kids' families had money, they wouldn't be here.
Right.
And because, you know, I'm a victim of police brutality. When I was 11 years old in Los Angeles, I had a cop, because of circumstances, handcuffed me, throw me on the ground, busted my head. I'm not against police. However, I am against ignorance, you know?
Right.
And from that point on, even growing up in Gary and learning about, you know, we had so many crooked cops and so many things that you saw that just wasn't right. Working in the prison system, and the culture is corrupt. You know, you can't even, I'm in here working, trying to help people, and I'm traumatized by the staff that's supposed to be protecting me. You know what I mean? So it's stuff like that. When I do these jobs and I come into these places and you see that the system is still the system. And no matter what we do, we keep ending up in the same thing. And that bothers me. So when I see these young boys with these charges that I know were stacked, that bothers me. I get frustrated all the time. But at the end of the day, like I told you, I've been threatened before. I don't open my mouth like I used to. I ain't gonna lie, because I don't have people that really stand with me with the truth all the time. And you can't, I don't want to be a martyr. You know, I'm not trying to be killed or put in prison just because people won't stand with me, you know, for certain things. But however, you know, I don't mind talking about certain things because, you know, people need to understand what's going on around.
Right.
So I do get frustrated. I get tired. I get sad because I don't understand why things are not changing. We just keep repeating the same cycles over and over again. And it really is just as simple as changing your belief system to change your mindset. I believe in.
You have anything to ask Dr. Nicole, Rebel?
Yeah, how you doing, Sister Ben?
I'm good.
What are some of the traumas that you see daily? Like, because a lot of people kind of, I guess, admit they have trauma, It's all over the internet. Everybody wants to tell people they went through something traumatic.
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the reasonings for some of this trauma?
Ooh.
If that's a loaded question.
So I'm gonna go back to like studying the 7 deadly sins, right? There's a thing called what I call human nature. And then there's a thing when you look at the power of suggestion, right?
Yes.
And generational lies.
Yes.
We have family lack is, I guess, a good word. Lack of knowledge and understanding based off of belief systems and lies that keep going on from generation to generation. So, the work that I've done, I've seen some of the worst things when it comes from like child molestation, just a lot of bad. I've seen a lot of bad stuff, and we don't talk about it to heal. We talk about it for either attention. Some people do look for help, but then the help's not out there because I'm not gonna lie. A lot of professionals don't understand trauma because they don't really teach it to us that way. I understand trauma because I lived it, and then I sought the knowledge to understand it. And I go deep with it. That's what I specialize in. I specialize in coming out of that dark place, or what we like to call the walking wounded, right? The invisible wounds. At the end of the day, everybody goes through some form of trauma. Now, how much it affects your mindset and how you function from day to day is based on how well you cope. And there's a process that goes with that. But what I try to teach people is that it starts with what you believe. Because if you believe that what happened to you is the worst thing ever and you could never recover, or you continue to keep going back there, or you start, because what trauma does, it makes you not believe in yourself. It makes you not believe in others or the world, and you start changing, and you see it in people. You know what I mean? And if you keep feeding that, then next thing you know, you're no longer yourself. You're irritable. You're angry. You can't trust nobody, not even yourself. You constantly, and that's a lot of what we see, even when people are on there and looking for help, looking for attention, looking for a saving grace. They won't really do the work because it hurts to do the work. That's why you got to talk to people, but you got to talk to the right people. Everybody talking on social media, that's not going to help you. All you're going to do is have an amen crowd and a woe is me, because now spirits recognize spirit, and y'all are going to have this whole little thing coming together, and nobody's healing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And so we got to promote healing. We got to promote that it's hard to heal. It's not easy, but we got to promote it so that we can heal, so that we can do the things that we need to do to get right.
That's real. What about the black boys?
Oh, my babies.
Do they have like a certain trauma they all come with? Or
I mean, you know what? Because I've been doing this for so long, it's starting to change more. Let me talk about the black boys. Okay, I'm glad you brought that up. My babies. We have a lot of broken families, and a lot of broken women who are raising black boys, and they're doing the best they can. However, they can't really give them what they need. And then you have men who are really doing the best they can. However, they've been broken in some way, which or form. Not really, none of us, to me, men or women, haven't been taught how to be men or women, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Especially when you come from certain places. Now, and it really doesn't matter if you were poor or wealthy, we still really not taught, because it's like, and this is what I'm learning. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Let me go back to the boys, because I was about to go on a whole nother tangent. Okay. My boys, my babies. It starts with just, again, their beliefs and the times that we're in now. You know, when I first started doing this work, it's been 24 years that I've been doing social services and all this stuff, working with corrections. And I used to see kids that had what I call some kind of God sense, morality. They respected human life. We don't have that today as much. And the more that we go into times, I don't think it's going to get any better unless we start really turning some things around. And what I believe that comes from is feeding negativity. So feeding that trauma. I'm feeding, the belief that everybody lies. I'm feeding the belief that I can't trust nobody, not even myself. I'm feeding what my mama told me. I'm feeding what my daddy told me. I'm feeding what that teacher told me. And the more I feed it, the more it grows to where your heart just hardens. And what we're seeing today is just a lot of people with hardened hearts. Yeah. You can't grow without love. And it starts with loving yourself. And one of the things that I had to do, and that I do a lot in the prisons, is trying to teach them how to love themselves. You can go a long way, because a lot of people honestly don't know what love is or even how to love themselves. And so our boys are struggling with that. But just because of those words kill. Stop being so stupid. Your ass ain't gonna be nothing. We gotta be careful with that, because now, in these days, our girls different, worse than the boys. So it's I don't know. I feel for my baby. I call them my babies, and in the jails and stuff, especially where we are now. The officers be like, "Why you keep calling them your babies? Them boys don't kill people." I said, "But they still babies. They 17 years old. What you want me to, they 17 years old." And most of them that's in those situations were groomed to get there or taking charges for other people. It's just sad to me.
Real quick, what about our baby girls? Break down their positioning in this.
It's really the same thing. It just looks different. Because, when we hurt, we're really angry. It just comes out different, right? But it's really no different. It's just the beliefs, and from neglect, from abuse. The sad thing is when they came out with that hashtag Me Too, and you had all these people hashtagging Me Too. But I can't tell you how many times I've been in a room full of women. And if you ask them, have you ever had any type of sexual abuse or neglect, and the whole room will raise their hand.
Man.
And, including me, so there's a lot that goes with when you don't understand how to respect women, because they don't know how to respect themselves after going through what they go through. A lot of people are very misunderstood. When you look at that little girl who out there being fast, the first thing they want to do is call her a hoe. But they don't realize what that little girl done been through. Or they, automatically put you in this spot instead of taking the time to try to figure out how she even get there. And it just grows from there, because they never, truthfully, I talk about this too in my book. You running from one person to the next looking for love, and constantly victimizing yourself. Because it still goes back to learning how to love you. If you don't love you, ain't nobody else gonna love you. Period. Ain't no way around it. You teach people how to treat you. So if you going into a situation, and that's a big part of what's going on, because when you have any type of sexual trauma or abandonment by your parents, you constantly looking for some type of affection and love. And you'll take anything just to say you got it and not realizing how much you're really victimizing yourself. And men do it too. I've seen men do it, So, but the women is the worst because of how women are looked at and how we're treated. We don't get the same treatment as men. Let a man go from woman to woman, they the man. When a woman do it, she a hoe. But she going through the same thing the man going through. Broken. That's just how I see it. And my little girls, they they something these days. But yeah, everybody's just feeding negativity. You see it all over. You see it in the music, you see it in TV and movies, and anything that's spreading negativity, they feed it. And the more you feed it, it grows. And that's the spirit that is encompassing our children. The enemy goes after our children because he's going after our future. And those of us who are old enough to understand won't take the time to try to teach them anything different. A lot of us, I ain't gonna say much, but a lot of us, because everybody trying to survive. And we just not in a good place in this world, but we do gotta understand the truth. And I just try to stick to the truth, because the truth is what sets us free, no matter how hard it is. And until we face the truth about who we are, what we're doing, and where we're going, and learn how to work together despite our belief systems, we're going to keep going through the same circles, and history going to keep repeating itself. And the powers that be going to continue to be that much more with their foot on our neck, because we won't come together, love ourselves, and love each other. That's how I see it.
And to me, that's the most frustrating part. Just it's hard for us just to come together.
Mm-hmm.
That's the hardest part. We ever come together, man. We'll solve the problem. That's the biggest problem right there. Now, it's affecting our kids, our grandkids. You know what I mean? We are fighting against this. The internet is a beast.
Yeah.
And that's what I think.
But we have to learn. I grew up in theater, in California, and one of the things that they talk about in theater in unity means time, place, and action. Just as long as we can come together in a time, in a place, in action, and go, we want the same stuff. I say this all the time. Our common factor is that we want to be well. We want to live in safe places. We want our kids to grow up and be safe. We want to be able to make money and take care of ourselves and take care of our families. We all want the same thing. However, because we have so many different belief systems and cultures, everybody think my way is the right way. No, your way is your way. My way is my way, but that don't mean we can't come together. Time, place, and action. Everybody is a tribe. We have different spirits and things that connect us to do a certain thing. However, we think that when we get in our tribes and our cliques, that our tribe and our clique is better than yours.
Yeah.
No, it ain't no better. You just have a different role than I do.
Yeah.
If you people come to me because I'm a chaplain and I'm a therapist and this and that, and they'll say, well, if it's the church people, they, mental health this and mental health that, and it's all about God. Oh, I agree with you, but he gave us mental health for a reason too, right? People didn't just get up one day and say, oh, we're gonna have mental health. Somebody had a vision that we had to do that. Why? Because that plays a role in our lives. The same reason I don't have nothing against nobody who's doing things in a positive way and that does it with integrity, and they're really doing it out of love. However, if you do it your way, that's fine. I remember my brothers with New Era Detroit when they came down here, and we was with them, and I was talking to Zeke, and I was saying, we really need to do some mental health in these groups. I love what they did because they grew so fast, and he was telling me something, and I said, we can't just be out here like this. And my brother said, well, we ain't scared. I said, it's not about being scared, it's about being strategic. If the Black Panthers and all of them, when they was able to organize and come together and do what they did, just like New Era was doing. However, we can't be out there loud like that because they will shut you down, and you're not going to be as effective because you constantly, and I'm saying this on the air, Lord, but we had to move in silence in order to win.
We had New Era Chicago on the show 2 weeks ago. I'm familiar with a few brothers. Are you saying it? Yeah. I love them, man.
We have, and people's like, well, that's being scared, but it's not being scared. You got to understand, these folks are so far ahead of us that every time we think about this, the Black Wall Street, everybody knows they burnt them down, killed them, put them in jail, did all of this. They got all this attention, but they don't talk about the fact that they rebuilt back Black Wall Street. And when they rebuilt it, they knew that they could not go back and burn it and tear it down and do all this stuff no more. No, what did they do? They started changing the laws, business licenses and this and that. They made it to where the Black businesses in Black Wall Street couldn't afford to keep their businesses anymore. And then they started welfare. Right. See, all of that was by design. But one thing I know about us as a people is that you can keep trying to tear us down. We're always going to get back up. Always. So no matter what, even in that situation, we don't talk about, well, they was able to get back up. But when we start looking, people will say, well, I don't vote because it don't mean nothing. A lot of ways that's kind of true. But then there's a group over in Clayton County, there's some young folks, and I support them. They're all millennials, and they are going in office trying to change things. I'm with you on that. But it's so far up, we can't change the system when the foundation is broken. Yep. Okay? You can't change nothing that's broken. You got to tear it down and start over. Yep. But that's a whole nother thing too. So then all of us, like I said before, we have the resources, we have the knowledge, we have everything we need to take care of ourselves. However, those belief systems have to be put in check to come together in time, place, and action. If we can't get past that, we ain't gonna believe in the same thing, then we ain't gonna never get it together. That's just the bottom line. I have to respect you.
And I think, hey, how you doing? First of all, sis, how you doing? It's old Bossy.
Hey, I don't see you. Where you
at? I'm here.
Okay.
No, I was just listening. I was just sitting listening to you, and I think you. I ain't gonna say I think you're correct. You're correct. I think we really have to focus on mental health. And I don't want to say like what makes it appealing, but you know, and I was singing your praises earlier that I was like, that's a real sister. That's a great sister because you tried to help me a lot with, mental, what I was going through with the loss of my mom. But I think sometimes we have to come to the term of when we're ready for it, and we have to understand like when we need it. And that's one thing on top of they gave us all these religions. We got mental issues. We listening to imaginary people, however people want to feel about it. So this feeds into the mental issues in a sense. But you have, how do you think we could make therapy more appealing? Because a lot of people get turned off. They'll say, I don't have insurance. Okay, then we say, okay, well, you got insurance. Well, that's just a person there. They ain't gonna really care. They just there. They just doing that for a job. We find all these things to say, why we don't need mental health, when a lot of us are undiagnosed walking around. So how do you think we combat that? Kind of like, you get what I'm asking? How you think we make that appealing, and how you think we can make that doable for people, to get our people to know, to understand?
We really just have to talk about it more, in my opinion. Okay. I don't know if there's a real answer to that, because it goes back to what I was saying earlier about, whatever you believe, that's what you're going to do. And if you don't believe in mental health, guess what? It ain't gonna help you. But you'll go talk to your homeboy, your homegirl, or your mama and your daddy, and they gonna tell you what they believe based on their experiences, which may or may not be true. Right? It's just their belief. And mental health is I call it mental wellness now, because I try to take away the stigma of that part of it. Right. But the idea of wellness is mind, body, and spirit. We are physical, emotional, and spiritual people. And if we don't address all parts of that, then we're going to be off. And because we're not taught, about how our food even increases, certain foods increase anxiety. Some foods can even cause depression. Everybody is not the same. So what works for you may not work for me, and then we make such a big deal when you talk about diagnosis. See, I don't believe in diagnosis as being a forever thing. Whether it's a physical diagnosis, me and some of my holistic people, we help people get off of diabetic medication, all kind of stuff. Just because a doctor gives you a diagnosis don't mean you got to stay there. And that's what I believe about mental health.
I like how you put that.
But if you can understand that we all go through things, we're all going to experience depression sometime. We're all going to experience anxiety sometime. However, if you don't do nothing about it, it grows. Remember I said earlier, if you keep feeding it, it's going to grow. So you have to recognize when you're not feeling good, because that means that you need to make a change. A lot of us just don't like change, but change is inevitable. We weren't made to stay in the same place for our whole lives. We weren't made to function that way. That's why a lot of people get so down and out when they feel stuck, because they ain't went nowhere. Well, because you got to change this to get where you need to go. But we're not taught that. You get what I mean? We're not taught that we're supposed to grow. We're taught in how society, we got to go to school and we got to graduate and you got to get this job so they can, give you that watch after 30 years and, and it's all bullshit, excuse me, but it is. Because,
talk the way you want to talk here.
But it is because at the end of the day, we all are born with a purpose. And here's the thing. We're not taught spirituality. If you understand spirituality, you will understand mental wellness. Because we are, most of us, whether if you understand, if you're religious or spiritual or whatever you want to call yourself, at the end of the day, this is a temporary life. This body is a shell. And because of that, we got to understand when things are happening to us that's spiritual. We have to look at everything there before we look at what's going on in front of us. And if we're not taught how to do that, we get tossed all around. Why? Because now I'm dealing with spiritual warfare. I'm trying to fight it in the natural. And all I'm doing now is feeding anger. I'm feeding fear. I'm feeding doubt. And I call fear, anger, and doubt the fad syndrome. It stops you from moving forward in your life. And so if you don't understand that part, and then you come from a family that is dysfunctional, okay, for just to say it like that, I guess, then you're going to continue this cycle in one way or another, even when you think you're not. Even the people who, succeeded, got out of the hood, but then they still can't have a relationship because they still jacked up from what they went through when they were younger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I liken it to like how you were saying about the system, about the voting system, where we can't get to the top when the base is broken. And I think we have to look at that with ourselves as well. Like, we can't be our whole selves. We can't be our strong selves when our base, which is our mental, and spirit, if that's jacked up, our output is going to be jacked up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got a question for you though. With all the history of mental health and things of that nature, and we and mental health is, to me, mental health is new. I believe us as a people have just started dealing with mental health. So my question is to you, from your research and your past research and your occupation, or where you are in now. What was mental health back in the day? What was mental health in the 70s? What was mental health in the 80s? What was mental health in the 90s? Is it the same? Is it the same as it is now in this particular time?
Is it the same? Okay, from research, we didn't, in the Black community, we didn't talk about mental health. Like, this is new for us, like you said.
Right.
Okay. Part of the reason we were a lot stronger in the 60s, 70s, even 80s, you start seeing the breakdown in our families around the 90s.
Right.
One of the things I also talk about in my book is how growing up around gangs when I was younger, they were more protective of us. You didn't see kids getting shot in drive-bys and stuff. They would always, and I always used to get angry, like, oh, what do you mean? I grew up in a blood community. Inglewood Family Gangsters was my community. And, but I remember how if things were going to go down, being a little kid, oh, you had to go home. You're going to get out this park. Oh, you need to take your little ass to school. Like, it was so different when I was coming up in elementary school, right? But then as time changed, so I kind of blame stuff like drugs, and things like that, the breakdown of our families. Because when let's say late, I don't know how old y'all is, but I know late 70s, early 80s, when crack really got on the scene, the gangs back then, they used to take care of the kids and take care of the families and take care of the community. Made sure they was eating. Make sure, if you hear a lot of the old school football players, they talk about how the gangs made sure they had shoes so they could, still play football. See, all of that changed because, again, I still think it goes back to feeding negativity. So when I left California and went back to Gary, we was what, folks, peoples, GD. Okay. It was a whole different environment for me. I didn't understand it, right? And in that, I used to think, okay, well, it's different in California than going to Indiana, but that's not what it was. It was the times. The more we feed negativity, the more our environments get engulfed with bad beliefs, violence, and everything else. And so mental health, the concept of mental health didn't change, but we changed. If that makes sense. Because our families were broken down. Our infrastructures were broken down. All this stuff started breaking down to where now, mental health, we need mental health. We need mental health. We've always needed it. It's just that we were a lot stronger and more together before than we are now. And the more we keep feeding the negative thoughts and feeding that we can't come together, then we need more mental health. That's just kind of how I see it. I don't know if that makes sense.
That does make sense. I found it in my current research that the kids are not tough as we was back in the day. And I am from that era. I grew up around GDs, vice laws, PAPs, all them different folks like that. And it was more of an organization. It was much more of a brotherhood. even though they did bad things, but we only heard whispers of it. It wasn't like today where if somebody do something, it's all over social media and it's put out in a bad way. But yeah, for my current research, I did, discover that the youth now are not tough as we were coming up. They don't know how to endure, and everyone is, bipolar and breaking down and having anxiety, and the world and the skies falling down on them. But my I found a key solution to that is giving them, or trying to give them knowledge. Different books, stuff like that. I did the mentorship, and it's kind of rough, seeing my people like that. And I didn't know our people was like the way they were, to that degree. But yeah, definitely, trying to, be a wealth of knowledge. And I always try to have an answer for them when they ask me a question, even if it's a stupid question, but I let them know there are no such thing as stupid questions. You know what I'm saying? You ask a question, I'm gonna give you an answer for it. But us as a people, we do need to be unified. And I heard you say we need to come together as far as on the same page with, I guess, religion. That's what you said with religion. You said we need to come together on the same page as far as spirituality or something like that.
No. Time, place, and action. Is that what you're talking about?
Right.
I was saying like wellness. I was saying wellness. So wellness, I was saying okay. we all want the same thing. We want safe neighborhoods. We want our kids to be safe. We want to be able to take care of ourselves. Like we all want the same thing. We have to come together to secure those things. Is what I was talking about.
Okay.
I don't. I'm a chaplain. My doctorate is in theology. I believe in God, and I believe that this is a temporary place, and we have to understand spirituality in order to fight the things that we're dealing with. So I was saying we can't fight spiritual things with carnal knowledge. You gotta know how this stuff works. I call it in my book the power of suggestion. It's just a matter of what you believe. If you believe I told the guys in the prison one time, I asked them, why do they believe in smoking weed? Why do you believe, like, where did that come from? Right. And a lot of people can, my daddy did it, or when I grew up, me and my partners, we just started doing it. Okay, but why do you believe it's okay? Well, just like anything else that you do, there's a belief behind it. And most people will be like, well, this is just the way I am. It came from somewhere though. And does that make it true? Just because you believe that that's okay? No. What's the evidence behind it? Right? So all I ask people is to be authentically who you are so that you can walk in purpose, right? Whatever that may be. Just because they say don't mean it's for you. And you got to set boundaries. We don't do that either. We don't, you got to learn how to say no to protect your peace and who you are so that you can think for yourself, so that you can go after the things that you want to do. So coming together means that just because you believe in something different than me, don't mean we can't come together for the things that is of common good. Safe neighborhoods, safe family. So if you believe in a religion, that's probably what you heard me say. If you believe in a religion that's different from mine, that doesn't mean that we can't work together. That's your belief. I don't care what you believe, but we live in this same community, the same city, the same state, the same world. We need to come together and start being accountable for our lives. That's all I'm saying. I don't care what you believe in. You know what I mean?
Right, and I was just saying that I thought you said something different, but we need to take a unbiased opinion as far as spirituality and religion, and really just stick together and unify. Because I see down that's one of the key things underneath the layer that's starting to break us up. And then us as a people, we start idolizing. We get a leader in a particular group, and then we be like, oh, he's the best leader, or my leader's the best leader. We need to have. I know it's a saying that said there's too many chiefs, not enough Indians, but we all need to have some form of leadership, some form of position. Which everyone is not going to be a leader. That's just facts. But we need to have some form of leadership and position with the people on a main scale, where it doesn't get so demonized. It doesn't become controversy. Because with us, it becomes demonized, it becomes controversy. Then we want to debate,
Right.
all that type of stuff like that, and then we start idolizing, so-called leaders or people who are in charge. That was my thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I agree with you because, first of all, I like to teach that we're all leaders within our own right in who we are. Okay, we all have a purpose to go after whatever it is that is in our hearts to do. However, when we start congregating and putting people in leadership, sometimes we put ourselves, not that there shouldn't be leaders, but when we put too much hope in the leader and not enough hope in ourselves, that's when we start getting in trouble, because that's why this country is the way that it is now. And we put so much, like you said, idolatry into what's hot, what looks good, what's shiny, that we forget about ourselves. And it's like, we can't do that. Everybody's a leader in their own right.
Right.
And who you are, you know what I mean? And then leaders are supposed to come together and make things happen.
Right.
Now, I may do it my way. I'm going to do it in mental health. You're going to do it your way. And eventually we can reach different people, because everybody not going to like me. Everybody not going to like my way, but they may like your way. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you this story. This little white girl, when I was in grad school, she lived in this, one of the states, ain't no black people, in the mountains somewhere. And she talked about how they were all atheists. Her family was atheists. Nobody believed in God in this community that she came from. But in her mind, there was always a God. So when she got old enough and went to college, she started seeking God. She started going to all these churches, all types of denominations. And she said, well, I go to a Catholic church now. And if you looked at her, you wouldn't think she believed in nothing, because she still was very gothic, all black fingernail polish, black hair. She said, well, I go to a Catholic church because I like the idea of being able to confess my sins, even though I know I don't have to. Now, when we're in a group, that's a very profound statement, because here's the thing. I've studied all religions, and they have a lot of commonalities. But I don't believe in religion. There's really no such thing. There's no books that really tell you that there's a religion. So the thing is that when you study all this stuff, there's all these commonalities. The only difference is what they believe and the ritual behind it. And when you look at that, okay, I believe God is in everything.
Right.
And if you are so in a box with God, then that's how your life gonna be. When you realize that it's much bigger than anything that you were taught about in religion, then you can grow. Then you can walk in purpose. Otherwise, you still gonna be in this box. And I don't, for her to say what she said, that's part of her journey. That don't mean she's supposed to stay there. I started off in Kojic, Church of God in Christ. I didn't stay there. I went to AME churches. I tried all of them. And the more I studied, the more I realized, there's no such thing. There's no such thing as a denomination. However, there are forces that created these denominations and all these various belief systems to divide us. And we keep falling for it. But some people come together because they're still part of that tribe. You got a purpose to go do something. Go do it. But don't get mad at me because I don't believe what you believe.
Right, right.
Because I got a purpose to go do what I'm going to do. And that's where we get all misconstrued. I believe God is in everything. There's nothing on this earth that he's not a part of, except for some of this other stuff that's going on. But he still sees it all. He knows it all. He's here. However, we cannot continue to be mad or go down. God don't need defending. I don't have to defend who I am to you, because I know who I am. Now, just because you may not understand me or I may not understand you, that don't make you no better or no different than me. It just means we're two different people. And if we can get that, then we can come together. But we can't get past those belief systems that we can't even prove is true or not, because we won't even seek the knowledge to figure it out for ourselves.
That's true.
I ask you a question about your hood recovery program. How long have you launched it already?
It doesn't launch until January. I'm looking for community partners to join me in whatever it is that they do, so that we can kind of build a database of sorts. We have a pilot program right now with another organization that brought us in. And so I feel like that's going to be kind of the start of it, where I kind of get an idea, because I'm going to be honest with you, we have not totally put it together, but by the end of the year, before we launch, we will. And the whole idea is everything we've done in reconciliation. We go in the community, we do outreach, and we really just help them, whatever it is. We bring in mental health services, but it's not like traditional mental health. It's really more so finding out what the needs are and getting the resources to support them. And it's more so about people, especially coming out of prison. We're about to see a shift in laws and different things, and a lot of people are going to come out of prison and they're going to need help to maneuver. And I'm really just trying to put the resources and the people in place to mentor, to counsel, to be coaches. We need housing. We need everything as far as basic needs. Because one of the things I found why we lose so many brothers and sisters to the system is because when they get out, they don't have the right support. And that's what hood recovery is about. It's about getting the right people at the right time in the right place to put some action in supporting these brothers and sisters that's getting out, so that they don't keep falling into the same traps. And so I call it hood recovery, fighting to end the hood mentality, because that's what it is. The hood is not a place, it's what you think about it. We could turn it around.
Right. Brother John, you have any questions for Dr. Nicole?
Yeah, briefly, like y'all kind of touched on it a little bit. Brother Knowledge was tapping on it. Yeah, I think we all were raised in like 70s, 80s. I was raised in the 80s personally, but it's a different time and it's a different type of youth that we have out here. And my question is, even from a therapy standpoint, we rarely have an idea of a vision of everybody will be completely healed, all trauma gone. Is that a vision? Is that realistic?
No, it's not realistic. Because as long as we live on this earth, we will always have trauma. Okay. The idea is learning how to deal with it.
And that's where I was going. Where do you draw the line between having to heal the trauma and working through the trauma? Because healing
is working through it, though. Here's the thing: you heal because you work through it, and the more you work through it, the better you get. Does it completely go away? No. And I'm gonna talk about a little bit in spiritual warfare and trauma and what that is. The whole thing is that Okay, actually, let me say this. So you know how they say, church people will be like, oh, you a new creature, you born again, God made you a new person. True. He made you a new person because of how you think now, right? Not because you're this new person. Those demons and those negative things, those vices or those triggers that was on you when you was 16, they still with you. They don't go nowhere. What happens is that whenever you're vulnerable, whenever you go through something, those old beliefs try to sneak back in. And mental wellness and what we try to teach in trauma recovery and what we're going to teach in hood recovery is that you can't give into that belief because you already learned the truth. Why would you go back to something that you know is not true? It's just like alcoholism. When they say you once an alcoholic, always, I don't believe in that. However, that craving is going to come back. But now I got the tools to not do it anymore. But do we ever completely heal? Not completely, because there's always going to be a time when that belief going to try to sneak back in. People, they get married, they so happy, and oh my God, I'm healed, I'm good. But then their husband or their wife cheat.
Mm-hmm.
Then they single again. Now they getting lonely. Them thoughts are coming back. Believe me, they coming back. Whenever you make up your mind, we talk about the sisters. Whenever you make up your mind that you're not just gonna sleep around anymore because you love yourself now.
Mm-hmm.
But then something comes in and triggers you. What do you think you do? You go back to what you knew from a long time ago. But mental health and mental wellness, we just teach people what the truth is so that you can make a choice. It's all about choice, free will and choice. You don't have to keep making the same choices just because you feel that way. Those feelings ain't always true. So do we heal completely? No, but as long as we work through them, we get better.
Okay. And that's kind of where I was going. It's like, is there anything such as unreal trauma or disingenuous trauma where people, how do you know true trauma and true healing? How do you know people aren't just, and this is where I'm going, people aren't just making an excuse of, my dad left me at 2 years old, so now that I'm 45, I'm dealing with this trauma, from 43 years ago. How do you know true trauma, basically?
So, you ever heard this thing called gaslighting?
Yeah, I have. I really don't know what it means, but I've heard of it.
Okay. There are people who are master manipulators, okay, right? But they didn't get like that for no reason. So even though they're manipulative, it doesn't mean that they didn't experience trauma.
Okay.
It just means that that's their way of dealing with it. So I don't think there's any. The only disingenuous trauma is somebody who lying, right?
Okay.
Who lying about what happened to them. And even then, if you a liar, something went wrong somewhere emotionally. I don't know. But however, because, emotional trauma is hard to prove in courts and things. However, emotional trauma is very real. And you will see a lot of people who are liars, manipulators, gaslighters because of emotional trauma. We may not be able to pinpoint what it is. However, that's where it came from. So I don't think there is no such thing. We experience trauma just from getting divorced or breaking up from a relationship. It's grief and loss. Whenever we lose something, we lose pieces of ourselves. And if we don't address it in the right way, it grows into different things. That's trauma. So we have to pay attention to how we move from day to day. If I'm not moving the way I used to, I got to ask myself why. That's why I always say, check yourself before you wreck yourself every day, because you're living every day. You're experiencing things. You don't want to change your perception about who you are based off of what you went through.
Okay.
That's real key, right? To trauma. So how do we, yeah, you got a lot of liars, manipulators, and all these gaslighters. Gaslighting just means that they play victim or they try to make you a victim based off, making you think you crazy. That's really what gaslighters do. A lot of people who are abusers, they gaslight.
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I was saying. Gaslighting is a recent thing, right? Like in the past.
Not recent. That's just a word that became popular because somebody learned it and started putting it on social media. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything goes in a circle because we ain't figured out how to break it yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And now we know what you're doing, who you do it for, brother. Our sister Nicole.
Ask me what I do and who I do it for. I do it for the hood. I do it for the hood.
Right.
Yes.
Speaking of mental health, I know you know the internet plays a pivotal role on perception.
Mm-hmm.
Are you aware that Instagram was voted based on mental health, the number one, the worst? I'm trying to get this right. The worst website you could possibly visit.
I don't know. I didn't see that, but I mean, it's obvious when you see all the crap that's on there.
Yeah, y'all gotta go look that up. The worst,
Yeah.
mental health wise, the worst website you could visit.
Social media is dividing us even worse than religion.
Yes, I was just going to say that a lot of people have been speaking about social media, and also speak about some form of mental health. It's not good. Also, social media has killed a lot of people. It's not really. It's like people, they call them keyboard maniacs or something like that. They call them, where they just people who sit behind a keyboard. A young lady be on there, be like, I want to kill myself. Some will be like, don't do it. Some people like, do it, stream it. But that's I don't know. What you said before about us losing some morals and some ethics as a people, pretty much as a culture, because we don't value, humanity no more, and we like I came up back in the day where, we protect the grandmas, the mamas, the aunties and stuff like that. I remember one time I was little and someone called my auntie a bitch. It was about like 5-6 carloads of us going up there just because he said that. That guy was shocked, but it was one of the aunties who was well respected, and she like, some guys called me a beat on. They wanted to do this and that to me. And I remember, we was at a barbecue, but it was just, what I'm saying, we protected the women. Women were protected. Now the women are not protected, and they always seeking some form of shelter. But yeah, social media will kill you.
Yeah.
All the stress.
Social media.
Yeah, so the stress. People get on there, they go on social media because they stressed out and it makes it worse. Yeah.
Makes it worse.
It's just a sad thing. It really is.
So you gonna be one of the speakers on October the 29th.
Yeah, break that down.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring some of my books out. Y'all gotta check out my book. I promise you, everything I just talked about and more.
You gonna bring your books right to sell, right?
Yeah, I'll have some. And anybody, you can go on Amazon, just put my name in, it'll pop up.
No, I'm gonna buy a book on the 29th of October.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We're talking about health and wellness, and my sister, we're gonna definitely have a good time, and I want to make it really about the goddesses, right?
Right.
As far as the theme and who we are. I just believe in being authentically you and not giving two what's about what anybody thinks. It took me a minute to get here, but it feels good, right? So the more we can understand, who we are, why we're here, and walk in purpose, man, that's on God. That's it. You know what I mean? So.
Right. Well, I guess anybody have any more questions for Dr. Nicole Benton?
No question for her, but I do got a small question. Have you read 48 Laws of Power?
I have.
You have. What's your favorite law?
Ooh.
Just one.
Ooh, let me think, because that was a long time ago. I got the book over here. Let me look at it. Because
Okay.
I don't know if I remember. It was so long ago. Can you remind me some of them? I can tell you, because I can't think of all of them
Well, I'll
right
tell you
now.
one, my favorite one that helped me out for us dealing with my mental and spiritual journey was I think Law 25, recreate yourself. And I learned that law because I was reading books on mastery and mastering myself and being in tune with myself. And when I learned that law, it kind of go with the Bible thing, you know what I'm saying? Be not conformed to this, will be ye transformed. And also pertaining to things that are old, leave them where they at. You're new now, a new
Remind
creature,
me of
whatever.
the author. I'm sorry. I know I got that book over here.
I
Robert
think it's
Greene.
Robert Greene.
Green.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
deep.
Robert
That's deep though. That's deep though, knowledge. I like, my favorite always has been Law 9.
I think it was, so I don't remember the number, but it was about like not putting too much with your friends.
That's 2, I think.
Yeah,
Is
that's a
two?
good law too.
Okay, I think that was the one. It's been a minute. You know,
Right.
I've been
Yeah,
reading this stuff.
that's Law 2. Never put too much trust in your friends.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I started doing my mentorship, it was a must that the young men master at least 3 laws.
Oh wow. And you know what? Now that you say that, I need to dig that book out, because that may be something I could use with these guys that we're dealing with now. But that, I know that was the one I like. Because didn't it say something like it reminded me of scripture that, you know, about making your enemy your footstool.
Yeah, that's in there too. That's one. I think that's one of the laws too. But
Okay.
but I use that law because that law is in every esoteric school. That law 25 of recreating yourself, mastering yourself, is in Nation of Islam. It's in Christianity. It's in the 5% nation, the nation of gods and earth. It's in it's in more science. That law of mastery dealing with us as a people. This is something for the men. You know, that law is a big help in recreating yourself, putting yourself in a new beginning, a new place, a new thought pattern, a new focus. You know, that's a very, very powerful law. And that I'm not just saying, you know, it helped me, but it also helped people that was around me as well too, because they started to try to master yourself. Also, we got a Baba in the community, Baba Baruti. That law 25 goes well with one of his book called Iwa, which is dealing with the character, us as Black men dealing with our characters and learning how to control our anger and not being fearful of what's ahead. You know what I'm saying? Take on the challenge, chip away at the challenge. I just have a thing called, you know, just chip away at the challenge. You know, you can't do it every day. Just long as you chip away at it every day, you know what I'm saying, and you'll get the challenge complete.
I'm just gonna say all of that is mental wellness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No matter where you get it from, that's what it is. And I've read a lot of books. I remember that. I remember the one about the friends and things. So that was always one of my weaknesses coming up. And so that you know what? I'm glad you brought that book up, because I'm gonna dig it out, because I'm gonna take it to the jail with me next week. I'm glad you brought that book up. Yeah.
He also has another book, which I wouldn't suggest they just jump right into it. But after they get to playing around with the 48 Laws of Power, he has a book called Mastery. That's a very good book.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that one. Let me. It's also by Robert Greene.
Yeah. So it's a little collection he has.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I love books and knowledge, because you know we all kind of say the same thing, just differently, and that goes back to what I do may not be for you, but that may be because it's like that whole full circle. There's nothing new under the sun. We just keep regurgitating things, maybe in a different way. And I just feel like so we can get it. Somebody got to catch it and get it, right? But I remember reading that book, and I want to say, God, I don't know, but I know it's on my shelf. Because I just saw it when I just moved my bookshelf, and I need to go ahead and pull that down. That's a really good book that we can teach off of. Thank you. All right.
Where do you see your plate? One last question. Where do you see your plate 5-10 years from now?
Prior to the pandemic, I used to always have everything planned out. And now I'm kind of in this place of being guided, right? However, I really see taking hood recovery and reconciliation to another level. I see being able to go in different communities and helping people grow. That's really, that's all I really want to do. Like grow past that mentality, grow past lack, grow past the spirit of poverty, teaching us to be more self-sufficient. I use mental health as a tool to make a living, but also to help others. One of the brothers talked about counselors not just doing it for a job. I created a team of awesome people. They started off as interns, and now they're about to be fully licensed. And I taught them how to be self-sufficient as therapists and not get caught up in the system where it's just a job. We all came into this for a purpose, right? So how I see myself is just continuously walking in purpose to build what I started 24 years ago. Because we ain't gonna stop
Right.
until I'm in the ground. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna keep building and keep teaching, and I pray to God that it keeps going. I tell my team right now, don't you let this die with me. Pay it forward. Everything that we do, if we just do it and keep all the knowledge and try to just do it for ourselves, we are losers. We have to pay it forward. And I tell my team all the time, pay it forward, teach the next one so that we keep this going. Because I know we're not like other therapists and stuff out there, because I taught people to be more, authentic to who you are in teaching and helping people. We can't do it like they tell us to do it all the time. It's not going to help us that way, So I just see myself keep growing, keep moving. And I want everybody to know what reconciliation movement is, because we're going to all reconcile with faith, knowledge, hope, and unity one day. Because one day we're going to have to.
Right.
Ain't going to be no, well, now I'm going to do it over here this way. No, we ain't going to have no choice but to come together. And I may not see it, but I'm going to keep fighting for it. You best believe that.
Powerful sister, brothers.
Man, that's my sister right there. I love her, man.
I love you guys too. I listen to you. Powerful brothers. Right. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting that knowledge out, because you never know. I tell you what started my path of trying to learn knowledge. In the 9th grade, one summer in Gary, Indiana, I worked at the Genesis Convention Center, and Minister Farrakhan came and spoke. And that brother said, don't you ever take what people tell you as the truth. You go out there and you find it. You go out there and you seek it. Study. And that did something to me that day. I don't know what it was, but it did something to me. And ever since then, I've always been an avid researcher. I sought knowledge. I wanted to know why. I wanted to know how to be better. And I do owe it to Minister Farrakhan, because that's what put that seed in my mind to do it that day. So, you know, nothing happens by chance. You know what I mean? And so, anyway, hey, I love you guys. I really gotta go. I'm past my bedtime.
Give out your information before you go, Dr. Nicole.
Just what is it? Lord have mercy. You know what? 678-561-3091. I told you it's past my bedtime. I promise you though, if you Google my name, Nicole Benton, LPC, all my stuff will come up.
Right.
Okay. So, but 678-561-3091 is our office number. And you can always info@nnk4life.org, because right now they're working on my website. I don't even want to give it out and all this other stuff, but you could always reach me.
All right. About the website anyway. It's gonna be on future reference anyway.
I mean, you can do nnk4life.org, and you'll find us that way.
Okay.
I'm working on a lot of stuff before the Hood Recovery Campaign, kind of rebranding. But we out here doing the work still. But that's one of the websites you can bring us up on. NNK, the number 4, life. Life means living independently for excellence, free of fear, anger, and or doubt. You want to learn it? Come holler at us.
Right. Yeah, we see you on the 29th of October. Looking forward to it.
I am looking forward to it.
Right.
Also, all of the beautiful goddesses and kings that will be in the house. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. I'm getting sleepy. I'm gonna start getting silly. You're gonna see a whole other side.
And we'll see. Appreciate you too.
God bless you guys.
All right.
Okay.
Dr. Nicole Benton.
And good to see you, John, man. How you doing? You good, brother?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. You know, had a family emergency to take care of.
Yeah. Good seeing you back, brother. Really is, man.
Hey, John, I ain't gonna lie, man. I saw you on YouTube, man.
For real?
Yep, you was wrestling a bird.
Nah. It's funny though. It's funny you said that. Like, nah, on some serious though. I lost my brother, last month. He had and he got 2 children, a 14-year-old son and a 12-year-old daughter.
Wow.
And the reason why I was saying really how you see me, because his daughter likes doing YouTube shorts,
okay.
Little TikTok little videos, and I've been doing those with her. You know what I'm saying? And she been putting those on YouTube. So I really thought like you seen one of them.
Oh no.
Like, hold on. See me out there dancing. But
now we gonna look for him.
But yeah, we doing all right.
Yeah, but it's good to see you, brother, man. You one of the good ones, man.
Likewise, bro.
Straight up.
I know you had no family thing going. I thought you probably was working. I know you be working.
Nah, this is the biggest thing that happened in my life. It's like I still got my mom and dad, but this the biggest loss I've ever experienced.
Got your back, brother. Stay strong.
Appreciate it.
So
yeah, I'm trying to get back to work, trying to get back in the rhythm. Like the sister said, sometimes you got to work through the trauma. So
yeah, Nicole, she's a sister you can call anytime, man. She'll make at least a few minutes out of her busy schedule to talk to you, man. That's straight up. I've been knowing it for a long time.
Gave her number out.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I might do that. You know how we are.
I'm gonna drop it in the chat. Let me drop it in the chat, and I forgot to do that. She gave her number, so y'all can see it too, man.
Yeah, man, we need a lot of help, man. The
Yeah,
fellas out here, they moving reckless, and then now they got this trafficking going on, human trafficking. Now it's our men trafficking our women, kidnapping them and stealing them. This stuff is getting out of control.
Man, I tell you, man,
they've been doing that for a few years at least.
Yeah.
I ain't know it was like that. Somebody put me on to it and sent me some articles, man. I'm like, what? And I just started doing some research on my own. It's us doing it to us.
Yes, listen. brothers put me onto it a couple years ago, but Atlanta is like the number one place for it, for real.
Yeah.
And a lot of it,
Yeah.
a lot of it goes through the clubs, you know, the strip clubs and things like that. But
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's sad, and it's us, bro. It's a lot
us.
of
I couldn't believe that from no shape, form. I said, wow.
yeah.
And they got they called one brother, young brother, man. He said, man, I need the money. I'm like, what? That was his excuse right there. I need the money. So you gonna let these kidnap this sister, dispose of her body, take her organs, so you can get 40, 50 grand.
People hurting out here, bro. You know, people hurting out here.
I come to that conclusion too. You know, with a lot of young men, they don't want to work. You know, I think the PPP really hurt the people, man.
Yeah.
I think it really hurt them.
I got you, Kim Waddle.
You know,
Yes,
but yeah, man, a lot of men are not trying to be men no more. They want to sit at home and think they're gonna get that meal. Every young guy I talk to think they're gonna get that meal ticket.
You think it's the PPP money?
Yeah, I think not having that thing secure in a way where you had to be a legit business or something like that to get those particular funding. I think it hurt the people, it crippled them, man. You know, one, we do suffer from financial literacy. Two, we suffer from mental disease, and three, we always move without a structure and a plan. So therefore, we was moving reckless.
Yes, sir.
You know, and we was not putting things together to make it happen. And it was just a clear thing, example to the system. Like, these people ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah.
We didn't gave them so many millions of dollars, and we didn't absolutely control nothing. We didn't control no street corner, no block. We didn't come together and form no type of situation where we can create jobs. But yeah, it's really bad. You know what I'm saying? I tell you, a lot of young men, a lot of things too. I'm glad that we didn't have an our era. They got an they era, which I really wish they didn't have an they era either. It's the pill popping. All these people popping pills, man.
They do the white drug.
I seen one dude, he was linked over like this, right? So I'm thinking something wrong with him. He said, "Oh nah, man, I just did like 2 pills. I'll be okay about an hour." You gonna stay like this for a whole hour?
But like, you know, back in the day, there used to be a suburban soccer mom thing, the pills and all, medical pills and all that shit.
Man, young brother too, man. Young brother, man. That's how he was walking like this. I'm like, man, the pill got you. Like, he said, yeah.
Yeah, it's bad, bro. It's bad.
Yeah, it's bad, real bad.
I'm gonna tell you, but you're absolutely right. Knowledge, like, and this is what happened with my family and shit. Like, it's gone past the point of, you know what I mean, just watching them destroy themselves. You know, because they coming, you know, they hungry. You know what I'm saying? And they see niggas, they see some people doing good, living good, you know, and they don't like that shit.
Nah.
But yeah, you can't just, I don't know, bro. Like, something gotta be done, you know.
Yeah, we gotta,
something has to be done, because they're making moves, you know, and we just sitting back and letting this shit happen.
Well, we kind of got to all understand, like I like to say, the poison in the cookies. And the poison is in the cookies is to give you to give you the cookie, and they got that poison in it. But everything we look at, we know it has a European phenomenon attached to it, which means, so in hindsight, it looks like we're doing it to ourselves, but we've been programmed, and we've been that this is the only way that we can see. We can't compute no other way, because we got to look at through what ways that they get us to take this in. Now, with me, let's go back a couple of years. I'm an ATL, so I remember when D4L, we had Cat Fabo, geek the, and they were singing this almost like a mantra, and then we started doing stuff. You know, in Houston, they was doing lean, they doing all of this stuff like Ken said. This is recreational soccer mom. This white folk stuff. This, we don't pop pills. We looking at folks like, no, I don't do that.
Mhm.
So how did this phenomenon become to a point where it's just strictly like it looks like this is all we doing? Like and like you said, knowledge. I see somebody that's strung out on them pills like that. A while back they had a documentary. It was called the Franklin Cover-Up. And the Franklin cover-up consisted of top presidential Ronald Reagan, all of these higher up people. And they had a black guy that was kind of like the recruiter. His name was Lawrence Larry King. And this was like a real sick, pedophilic, child trafficking, sex trafficking ring. So, like I said, it's called the Franklin Scandal or the Franklin Cover-Up. And when we look at this, we gotta understand, like, a lot of this, what we're looking at it looks like it's us, but it's not us. This is learned behavior. This is like you said, hey man, they hurting, they hungry.
It's
so if I gotta grab this person and sell their kidney for 40 bands, that's what I'm gonna do. Survival of the fittest. You know.
Yeah,
I'm with you.
They hurting bad, man, for real. I mean, a young bro. I was on the phone with Ken Obasi earlier, and then I was trying to get through my work. I called Ken back because the sister gave me the wrong material. And so I got off the phone. A brother hit me up like, man, D, can you talk? I'm like, what's up? He said, man, this dude done been doing crazy. I'm like, what the world? I say, brother. I say, catch a bus and go to your granny house and just chill out. I'm talking about he been on a rampage. And the one thing he said, I ain't got no money. What? What? When have we ever thought like that? I mean, the mindset is like crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, they not built for what's going on out here, man. And it's turning them up. People buying the pills, and then now they fast growing the marijuana, so everybody getting super hybrids. Then they got the fentanyl in there, and then you got the dope on the streets. People putting animal tranquilizer in it. They had a couple who smoked some dope in Cobb County, man. The people did a wellness check, come in the house, they stiff as a brick. They didn't hit that stuff, man. With animal tranquilizer, man, they couldn't even move. They were stuck, eyes open. They stuck like this, eyes open.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang. So it's gonna be.
Like, these being used as like coping mechanisms, man.
I don't know, man. This stuff crazy, man.
Recreational coping mechanisms, like a lot of things. Because like we was talking about earlier with the sister. Mental illness, depression. So I smoke something, feel good.
Yeah.
I pop a little something, I feel relaxed.
Yeah.
Now the dope thing is born.
I think the music doing it too, man.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot of stuff playing part in it, man. We just got to keep doing what we doing. Next year I'm gonna step up a little more. And
because you asked a strong question, knowledge, when you said about like what is like the mental health, and then you said like it's new to us. I agree, bro, but let me and further my analysis, it's new to us, but it's being more discussed. And like the sister, she walked right in it because it's like, is it new to us, or has the mental side or the mental illness been turned up and is more severe? Remember, man, they really got to working on us during the 80s and 90s with quote unquote gangster music. But we still had
about that and crack era.
Yeah.
Crack era.
Right.
Yeah.
But we still had
us up, man.
We still had Arrested Development.
Yeah.
We still had the Fugees.
Yeah.
We still had people that came in and tried to give us these conscious messages. That's been removed, man. You might hear some songs here and there, but most of what's being fed to the youth is straight up dope head, pill popping, genocide, die nigga, die, kill nigga, kill. So if you being repeated this mantra like geeked up, that's the thing to do. And when they would say it's certain lines, we got to understand that music. He said, I'm starting to see spaceships on Bankhead. Hey, he ain't talking about that, man. He talking about he out here on geeked, man.
Right.
And you know, so that's why I say it's the poison in the cookie. Well, how did the cookie get poisoned? How did it get to us? So once you take that bite, man, it's calling you like Pookie, man.
But Obasi,
you know,
I feel you, and then I'm with you. But I thought about that. At this point, it's 2022, bro. You know what I mean? And people, we got people that are knowing that the cookie is poison and still going to go get the cookie.
Man, he's right.
That's
John right.
That's why I'm saying,
man.
like, you know, we gotta do something, bro. Like, some of these people are intentionally, you know, working against our liberation.
Yeah. No, we actually say the same thing because it's the influence. Only thing I'm saying is the influence of like their favorite rapper. My favorite rapper was Tupac. So what he did for me is the same thing that NBA YoungBoy is doing for a 16-year-old right now.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Because the poison looks like it's the righteous thing to do. Ain't no more. Look, we are the voices of reason in our family, but how many of it is us versus how many of it is them? You see what I'm saying? So It's like us. So we the voices of reason. It's like, oh, here come on with that. But imagine if it was more of us and they seen more of this, and we was pumping out this to the masses. Right. How would that mentality be then? If we really had to kind of the force to drown out what they was doing, you know.
I tell you, I tell you,
that makes sense. What I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. I tell you this though, because I encountered two kinds. I encountered what John's saying, and I encountered what you saying. Some of them know it's poison, they still want to eat the cookie, and some of them be like, man, it's this stuff is old. You know what I'm saying? We got to do better. But I'm gonna tell you something, man. Before the crack era, they was trying to do with the crack what angel dust. And what happened with the angel dust, it started making, I'm not telling people to go do drugs or whatever. I'm just saying to serve this particular drug, angel dust, it was having more black men see God. They would say, I met God last night. And it made them more musicians and more, it kind of opened up that spiritual chakra, that the Madu Netta, you know, kind of open them up like that, and it kind of changed. I know a lot of people who's on that angel dust, man. They turned out. These was back in the day, so these guys got to be about like, 50, 60, fit between 50, 60, like that. These guys became, like musical genius almost, man. You know what I'm saying? But we got to find a way how to intuitively deal with the melanated man. That's the key. The man is the key. If the melanated man fall into place, I think we can probably win here a little bit. But all the forces is against the melanated man because they're going after the young man. And I said in my poem when I in one of my poems, I said knowledge enters the black man mind intuitively, because I read that in Metu Netta 1. You know what I'm saying? How knowledge enters us intuitively. And I remember that, you know, like the sister say she was Kojic. I was Kojic. But I should sit in them pews, man, and I'd be reading them scripts. I'd be like, man, why we ain't doing this? Why we ain't doing that? When I started asking questions, I had a target on my back. That preacher was like, man, you got to go. You know what I'm saying? But we need to open up their spiritual chakra so they can see, like, yo, I'm tripping. I need to wake up. I need to move. I need to stop procrastinating. Procrastinate kills all of us. No if and buts about it. You know what I'm saying? And we be bogus, and we know we got to fix it.
Yeah, because like you mentioned, man, when you was telling her about Iwa, you know, the Iwa Pele. Well, what is the character like now? Like you said, okay, we got to speak to the black man. Well, what is the character? Like Jay said, it's 2022. Not us, because we know where we are on this chessboard, and we know where we at on the field. But the bad, because we got to look at the majority, because the majorities is what make them crazy, not the same. If it was our way, we'd be done. So what is the character? What does the Iwa, the current Iwa of the average black man look like now?
Bad, no character, and a lot of men suffer from low self-esteem, which they be lying, talking about they don't have low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And they try to hide behind trying to be fresh every day, or being fresh sometimes, or they hide behind that. A lot of men are broken. You know what I'm saying? We gotta understand we definitely are oppressed people, and we live in the Western European society. And they got a lot of people under. That's why a lot of people go to church, man. You know what I'm saying? They feel like they can fit in there. You know what I'm saying? They get to hoop and holler, run around, feel good on Sunday, so they can try to battle through the week. But man, the character right now of the melanated black man is really bad. You know what I'm saying? When we at a low state, man, when we trying to kill our sisters and sell them, stuff like that, man. I know Georgia, the number one state for identity theft, women trafficking. Man, the stuff is just petty though, man. We ain't got to do that to each other, man. It's always a bigger solution. We always had a solution. You know what I'm saying? Even from New York to Chicago, we always had a solution, or we always did, or tried to help the people in the community and made it through. But what it is, man, the system is crippling that, man. The system is taking away our local heroes.
Yeah.
The system is everything now is illegal.
Yeah.
If you go to the beach and put an arrow in the sand, you're liable to get a ticket.
So right, bro. So what we have to look at, because like last week we was talking about it, man, you was building, and I was talking about these power words. Okay, so we got to look at words like healing, because like you said, the black man suffers from low self-esteem. His spirit is broken. His spirit is low. He's trying to be fresh. It's a coping mechanism. Okay, just like I said, just like that crack cocaine, just like these pills. Religion, okay, I hate to say it, but we got to keep the bread fresh on here. It's a drug. It's the opioid of the people. It's an opioid. So it's a coping mechanism. We got to build a spirit up and let them see some pride. That's why my thing goes so hard with the Pan-African Caravan, because if we can get stronger, y'all, and each time we do that, man,
that's gonna be big.
That's what we say. We kind of drive past history, man, and we drive past Garvey because we say, okay, Garvey did it in his era.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, we're up against, in my opinion, we up against more demons mentally. He was facing them physically, where they could have just really snatched him up and done away with him. But to have this kind of balls in that day and time to go through the street with the audacity to be African.
You know what? You're right. You're right too.
That's what need to go back to, the audacity. Where them cats in Atlanta get the audacity to be African like that? Don't they know Dane Calloway told them Pan-African meals were dead with his fat, out of shape, bad body ass? But anyway, I can get started on that guy, man.
Yo, anyway, knowledge over anything. Knowledge over everything, man. Give out your info, y'all.
Yo, y'all can check me out. Elite Wardrobe Shop. That's the t-shirt shop. And Aesthetics Apparel, ESTHETIKS Apparel. I got new hoodies coming. We got new merch coming. Man, be on the look. It's hoodie season. So y'all go to my IG and follow me, Aesthetics Apparel. And then you're going to click the link in the bio that's going to go to the website. Check out what I got right now, because new hoodies is coming and we ain't stopping. I'm talking I got fresh merch. I got merch with our symbols in there that's going to relate to us. And these symbols right here, I guarantee going to speak life to you. But yeah, and you can reach me at 404-913-7165. But yo, go check those hoodies out. It's coming.
Hoodie season. Yeah, you can check me out. Candace Apparel, Instagram, my G. Hoodie season. Get them hoodies now. Also, you can check us out at SunGoddess_Sense on IG as well. And check out our website, Shelly Amoset Products. Your one-stop natural shop. Check it out in You can call me anytime at 470-798-8527.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hey, don't forget about our show. October the 29th, Vocal Dialects presents Shelly Amasette, the Sun Goddess Experience. We calling all the sisters to come out. Go to Vocal Dialect, and I think the link is in the bio. If it's not, send me a message and I'll send you the link. It's going to be a sold out event. It's going to be dope. And we're going to be dealing with the goddesses this time, with the sisters, the health and healing. And, we really just going to be focusing on positive vibration. The sister that was on tonight, we're going to be, she going to be one of our speakers. The brother that's on here tonight, Obasi, he going to be one of our speakers as well. He going to be speaking on African. And, the sister going to be speaking on mental health. Y'all come and check us out October the 29th. It's going to be at the Omana Griot. Did I say it right that time?
Right. Omana Griot.
Omana Griot in the West End. You know what I'm saying? October the 29th from 7 to 10. It's going to be a sold out event.
Right,
and we got a lot of dope vendors going to be in the building. A lot of dope vendors in the building. So if you with the culture and you want to come on out. You're going to have a good time. And you get your tickets. Go to Eventbrite now. They $10. They're going to be $15 at the door.
And also on Facebook, the Eventbrite link is on the Vocal Dialect Facebook page. Go through it right now. Go ahead, get them tickets. And I don't mean to cut you off, brother.
You good? Go ahead. That's all I want to say.
Also, man, we got dope poets, man. We got goddamn Poetics, man. He gonna be hosting the show, man. Dope poetry, giving out that good energy. You know what I'm saying? We got the brother Sincere. Go throw them, do a couple of dope pieces, man. Shout out to the brother Sincere, man, for coming through. We got the Vengers. We got the Vengers coming through, man. It's gonna be all the way live, man. Come on through. It's gonna be about feminine energy. This for the sisters, y'all. So come show their support.
And we're gonna set up an after party. I gotta get my partner and see how we're gonna do that. But we'll let you know on the next show.
Right. Brother John.
Obasi, you going?
Of course. I mean, like I always say, I'm around. Y'all can catch me.
Follow that, right?
I'm around. Y'all know where to catch me.
We had a whole P. Diddy video talking about we up next.
I'm around. Y'all know how to find me. I'm out here.
That's the P. Diddy video. Come on, man.
Take it back with the shiny suits and everything. Y'all killing it, right? But Brother John, I'm out here repping this Garveyism in Atlanta, UNIACL Division 421 on Facebook and YouTube. You can reach me on my cell 678-631-9404. Race first. That's all I got.
First. You know it.
First.
Rebel with a cause, Rebel Vision Television, rebelvision.com, the Real Ancient Chemistry Clothing.com, ancientchemistryclothing.com, thegasfootwear.com. And leave a like, subscribe, share, subscribe. Holla at us, because we need y'all help. Thanks for all the love. Another powerful show, another powerful Bill Brothers. And y'all know how we do it. We out of here. Us. Salute. Peace to the family, y'all.
Us. Peace.
Late night with Dion and Rebel. I got another show I want to do too.
You say what?
I got a few more shows I want to do.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna do a little meeting with y'all.
Okay, that's cool.
If y'all want to help create them, but 2 of them is like a game show. We spoke on this before, but one is like a dating show.
Yeah.
Like the dating game, a black dating game. So, we need an ill host.
We got to keep that off the line, man.
Yeah, we coming, yo.